Hey everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so for this video I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the 4K picture for Halloween Ends. Now I know there's a few people very curious to hear my thoughts out there on this movie, and I've been very tight-lipped about it since I've seen it in the cinema. I have barely spoken about it in any of my videos, and I was just waiting for this 4K release so I can finally share my thoughts on the movie itself, and I will be doing that very, very soon. But I just wanted to quickly talk about this Steelbook edition. So I pre-ordered it from Amazon Italy. I actually pre-ordered the orange variant of it, and this came through the door. So I was a little bit confused. I contacted Amazon Italy. They told me they made a mistake, and that's fine. You know what? People make mistakes. It's okay. They refunded my money, and they actually told me to keep the Steelbook, which is a good thing because I actually got it for free, and it is a good thing because I really do not like this movie. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think I ever will be a fan of it. You know, I don't like using the word hate that often, but unfortunately it's the only word that comes to mind when I think about this movie. Now, I'm going to try and just talk about things that I know I can get away with when it comes to this movie. I do not want to spoil anything for anyone. And I think the first thing that I want to talk about is the 4-year gap that you do get in this movie. Now, they announced that months before this movie came out that there was going to be a 4-year gap, and I had a massive issue with that because I think the biggest problem I was going to have with it is it was going to have a massive disconnect between the previous two movies. And that's exactly what has happened. This movie feels like a standalone Halloween movie, not a concluding chapter to a trilogy. Now, David Gordon Green has done something very bold. I have to applaud him. He's done something bold, something different, and that's okay. Again, my only issue with that is do not do it as a concluding chapter to a trilogy. Everything that goes on in this movie probably should have happened in Halloween Kills, and it would have set this movie up quite nicely. But unfortunately, that's not the way we got it, and you can clearly see that there was no plan set out between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, which is a real shame. I'm a big fan of Will Patton as well, and they built up his character quite nicely over the previous two movies, but he was massively underutilized in this movie. He's barely in the movie, which is again a shame. Another thing I was kind of hoping we would see is a bit more of them 1978 flashbacks that were so well received in Halloween Kills. Unfortunately, we get none of that either. You know, this relationship that you see in this movie between Allison and Corey, the new character that we get in this movie, I don't buy into it. I don't care. I'm not here to see a romantic movie. I'm here to see a Michael Myers and Laurie standoff movie. And David Gordon Green did come out and said that this movie was never going to be a showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. And again, that is fine. The only problem I have is when you watch the previous two movies, that's what he was clearly setting up. And especially when you see the trailer as well, because the trailer just looks like it was going to be just a massive showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. And I was going to say, unfortunately, we don't get it. Look, we do get it. I'm not spoiling that for anyone. It's just very, very low-key, and it's just completely wrong in my eyes. Now, I watched this again for the second time, and I think the best way to sum this movie up, I said it to my fiance, it's essentially Michael Myers has a new apprentice in this Corey character, and Laurie Strode suspects that he's on a dark path, and that's the connection that Laurie and Michael have in this movie. And that's basically Halloween Ends in an absolute nutshell. It really is. You kind of have this new Michael Myers kind of coming up the ranks, and like I said, it just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. I'm here to see a Michael Myers movie, not a Corey movie. And I just don't buy into it, unfortunately. Now, another thing as well when it comes to these movies and them ignoring the sequels, especially the original sequel, the original part 2, they said they ignored that because they felt that the whole brother and sister dynamic between Michael and Laurie kind of ruins the mythology of Michael Myers. Now, I have to tell you, if the events of this movie has not ruined the mythology of Michael Myers, then I honestly do not know what will. Look, folks, you have to know, this is my favourite franchise of all time. I only want good things from it, but this is not the way to go, unfortunately. I thought when I watched this trilogy, I thought I was going to be satisfied and I was going to be like, yep, you know what? I don't need to see any more Halloween movies. But unfortunately, especially after this movie, all I want to see is more Halloween movies. I want to see another attempt at trying to, you know, put a proper conclusion to this franchise. I just did not get it with this movie, and it's a shame. And look, I pride myself on watching movies numerous times, particularly Halloween movies. You know, Halloween Kills, I've seen it numerous times now. I did not like that movie when I first seen it, and I've grown to love it. It's one of my favourite sequels now. But unfortunately with this movie, I know I will watch it again, but I don't think it's ever going to grow on me. It's always going to be well down in my when it comes to my Halloween movies, which is it's such a shame, because I just had such high hopes for it, and it just didn't deliver, unfortunately. Right, so I'm going to take us around this Steelbook, and I'm going to give you a close look at it. Right, so here we go, Halloween Ends Steelbook. So I have removed the J card. I'm going to show you that first. So I'm going to bring you in, and like I said, this is an Amazon Italy edition, so all the writing is going to be in Italian, but I think you get an idea of what the special features are all about. And I will also bring you down here to the bottom and give you a close look at some of the technical aspects there. If you want to pause it and check them out, by all means do so. So that is the J card itself, so I will put that to a side, and let's get on to the Steelbook. Now, I was actually a fan of both Steelbooks, but having said that, after seeing unboxings for the orange version, I kind of wish I did get it in the end, because it looks fantastic, and maybe someday, if it goes down cheap enough, I will pick it up. Actually, I know I will pick it up somewhere along the line. But I'm very content with this Steelbook. It's very nice. You have kind of a blue and black background, kind of blue splatter blood effect as well. You kind of got it on his knife there. So there's no it's a simple matte finish, sorry. No debossing, no embossing, no spot glossing, nothing like that going on at all with this Steelbook. And again, it's one of them Steelbooks that, especially with the knife, when you kind of bend the light off it, it looks pretty cool. So yes, I'm definitely digging on this artwork. I do like it, I really, really do. So right, take us on to the spine of it. And I have to tell you, the actual other previous two Steelbooks actually pair up very nicely with this Halloween Ends, which I know that will keep a lot of people happy. And then, of course, on the back, you have a bit more of that kind of blue splatter going on, only for this time, you have Jamie Lee Curtis in the back, or Laurie Strode. So, yes, it's a very nice Steelbook, and when you open it up in full, you get a good idea of what it's all about. And I kind of like that Michael Myers and Laurie Strode with their backs to each other. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's almost like a romantic comedy cover. But only for its Halloween Ends. So yeah, there you go. That is a close look anyway of the artwork on it. So I will take you around and give you a close look at the discs here. So this is your 4K disc. And then put that to a side and show you quickly the Blu-ray disc. And lastly is the inside artwork that you get. So it's that standoff at the end of the movie between Laurie and Michael. So there you have it, folks. That is the Halloween Ends Steelbook. Right, so onto the 4K picture. So I have banged on the Blu-ray. I knocked on the 4K as well. I've seen the 4K in full. And this one's a very, very simple one to review because both discs look fantastic. They really do. Now, when it comes to 4K standards, this disc is definitely lacking. There is a minor upgrade when it comes to, when you compare it to the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray, like I said, does look amazing. There is an increased sharpness, you know, the blacks look a little bit more inkier, you know, contrast looks a little bit better, colours just look a bit more robust, a bit more vibrant, a bit more natural. And yeah, it's just a little bit more fine detail in there as well, but it's very subtle. It's massively subtle. So don't be expecting a monster upgrade over that previous Blu-ray. You simply do not get it. It is not there. Now, this franchise has been weird when it comes to 4K because this movie looks very similar to the 2018 Halloween, especially when you compare both discs over the Blu-ray counterparts. There was little to no upgrades when it came to them 4K discs. But on Halloween Kills, that was a substantial upgrade on that. Now, I don't know why that happens or how that happens. Maybe it's just the movies themselves. But it just wasn't here on this one. And it's an absolute shame. It really, really is. I was expecting something close to Halloween Kills. But it just wasn't there in the end. But having said that, don't let me put you off it. It's still a beautiful looking 4K disc. But it's very hard to recommend it. Especially if you can get the Blu-ray for considerably cheaper. Because the Blu-ray does look amazing. Both discs also support Dolby Atmos, and I found it to be a very active mix. Great sense of atmosphere, Don't be expecting too much when it comes to your higher channels as well. It's all down to ambient sounds, you know, you'll hear creaking floors, all that kind of stuff, but there's not a whole lot to be heard when it comes to your overhead channels. There is a great sense of bass in this, great low-end bass, and I think you're going to be very impressed when you do actually hear it. There is some great separation with your speakers as well. The dialogue is unbelievably clean, amazingly centered as well. And yeah, I was very impressed with the Dolby Atmos. Sounds very similar to the previous two movies, and if you're a fan of the Dolby Atmos that you heard on Halloween Kills especially, I think you know exactly what you're going to get with this movie. So that is it, folks. That is it. So as per usual, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you could do, leave a comment down below, and please do share your thoughts on this movie and what did you think of it. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.